Now, as a professor and a psychologist, I wanted to ask you, given the current state the economy is in and has been in for so long, how do you think that's affected, like, the teenagers' morale, and, like, how do you think that's affected everybody psychologically?
Oh, I think it's affected everybody, but here's the big but. I think for you guys in your generation is, don't use that as an excuse not to do things. Don't say, oh, well, there's no opportunities out there. We're in a recession. Don't do that. That's horrible. Say, I am going to do it. I'm going to change. Be confident that you can get a job. And guess what? If you have drive in you, you will do it. If you're a nice person, if you're bright, get as much education as you can. Be positive. Glass half empty types are useless. You know, be really enthusiastic. You will get a job if you push. I think it has affected this generation. My worry about it is it's affected them in such a way that they think, well, there's no hope out there. Yeah, I mean, 2.6 million people unemployed. Young people is over 1.1 million. Yeah. So what? That doesn't mean you can't do it. Yeah. If you do that, you're just giving in. And by the way, that's just an excuse. Don't use it as a personal excuse. Get out there and do what you want to do. If you want to become a teacher, become a teacher. Work hard to do. You want to be a social worker, you want to go into business or the city, do it. And don't use either race, social class, the economy as an excuse. Get out and do it.
Did you have any other career plans when you first started at work?
I've always had funny jobs, you know, like selling dishes, working for a group of lawyers to serve subpoenas. I'm selling magazine subscriptions door to door. You name it. Burger flipping. You know, I have done it. I have been there. I've done everything. But I've never actually had in my head, funny enough, my career is going to be, right? It's great if you do, if you know early enough, hey, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a social worker, that's great if you do. I think that's not what happens to the majority of people. You go with the flow. You go to school, you go to college if you want to go to college, if you can, and you have an opportunity. I think you should try to. That exposes you also things, you say, oh, that's interesting, I like that. I'm going to try to go in that direction. But even when you're working, you may shift. Do you know what I mean? A university lecturer, did I ever think of that when I was your age? Never. My father never even went to school. I wouldn't have thought of that in a million years. Go with the flow, but make sure the flow is in a direction that meets your needs. Do you know what I mean? That grabs you and makes you feel, hey, this is really great. I'm enjoying this. Life's about enjoying. It's a one-act play life. Yeah. So enjoy it, man.
What was the most important lesson you have learned as a result of your success?
I think, to be honest with you, if you look at research and everything else, you won't believe this, but people who are reasonable in business, who are reasonably successful, come from deprived backgrounds. Yeah. Yeah. You know, because they have a drive. Yeah. Right? And I think it's about trying to achieve whatever you want to achieve. That doesn't mean you have to become a CEO of a major company. It could be becoming a teacher and helping out in a community. It could be anything that you kind of want to achieve. The important lesson is to work, number one, work hard. Set your ambitions realistically, but be kind to people in your life. And if you do reach real success, right, be humble with it. You know, care about other people. Don't be arrogant. Yeah.
What trials and tribulations have you faced, and how did you overcome them?
And I remember when I first went to university, they had, and this was a long, long time ago, kids, but I remember doing psychometric tests, you know, psychological tests, and they had an aptitude test, and the person who did it, and that was really early days of those tests. They said, oh, if you're not going to do good in the social sciences or anything else. You're just good at maths. Just do maths. Biggest mistake. And I really felt kind of thick. I thought, oh, well, maybe all I'm good is with numbers. I can't do anything else. And actually, that was a tribulation. It made me upset, really, because it was closing doors. But in life, I think you get a lot of negatives, don't you?
Yeah, definitely.
And the most important thing is to bounce back from the negative, not to say, oh, they're right. Yeah, you are thick. Yeah, you are whatever. Do not listen to people who do that to you, right? Listen to people who raise you, make you feel you can achieve just about anything. And guess what? In this world, and particularly in the UK now, you can.